Hello, everybody. America's youth has always had its shortcomings. 100 years ago, they were dying from polio. Now, they're making TikToks. You tell me which is worse. The average teenager has almost nothing going for them. They have no talent, no money, and they certainly don't stand for anything either. But that doesn't stop them from dreaming of being famous one day. Because being famous is cool. And clearly it doesn't take any talent anyways. But I've noticed a lot of white teenagers seem to have an interest in black culture and media. Mainly because if there's one thing white people love, it's black celebrities. Black people have had a massive impact on American culture, pretty much having their hands on every single form of art, like music, sports, and memes. But unfortunately, despite the amazing music that's come out of the rap community, it's also a very toxic one that white teenagers love to engage in. Teenagers are stupid. They have little self-awareness and are incapable of understanding the fact that rappers are not nearly as cool as they'd like you to believe. You ever notice how, like, typically rappers are attractive young men with a large platform and tons of money, yet despite this fact still can't find a decent woman to share their lives with? Because any woman that's actually worthy of being loved isn't going to date you if you're a moron with a shitty personality, and it doesn't matter who you are. On top of that, they feel the need to constantly mask their insecurities by flexing handfuls of cash and exotic cars on their Instagram pages. As I just mentioned, rappers fail to attract any decent woman with these things, so when they are flexing, it's typically for other men, which is kind of gay. It's also worth mentioning that many of these rappers seem to have no problem with the nasty women they do manage to date publicly sexualizing themselves, yet still they manage to dodge the criticism iDubbbz received for doing literally the same exact thing. Most rappers are not cool because they either glorify terrible things like murder or sexual promiscuity, or they're just boring dorks. But white teenagers don't realize this. They actually believe replicating the actions of bombastic, brain-dead rappers will overpower the fact that their name is fucking Gavin, often using African-American English vernacular as well as the N-word in an attempt to seem cool, when in reality they just look really stupid. However, the phenomena of white teenagers acting like they grew up in the ghetto has been a topic of discussion for some time, and as a result, some people would jump on social media in an attempt to bait dipshits into boosting their interactions. Woah Vicky and Bad Baby are two really good examples of how the juxtaposition of dumb white teenage girls acting like they're from the hood is a captivating and avant-garde experience. However, the most bizarre example of this is Lil Tay. What separated her from the other two is the fact that she was only 9 years old. And while she isn't 100% white, that point doesn't really matter because ultimately it's very strange to see a small Asian child flexing on her haters. Because above all else, Lil Tay was the youngest flexer of the century. Speaking of flexing, I'm not capable of doing that. Why? Because you haven't bought my merch yet and given me your money. Link in the description for epic shirt and epic swag. Also, I have a Patreon. I forgot to bring that up. And while you're at it, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know. Who's your celebrity crush? TBH, I'm just trying to fuck. Lil Tay was known for flexing on her Instagram account. She claims that she was broke as fuck until she started flipping bricks. Now she's rich as fuck and flexing on her broke haters. Lil Tay adopted many of the tropes that you'd expect from the average rapper or even mid-2010s content creator. For example, rather than listing the market value of an item she purchased, she would just say it cost equivalent to another luxurious item, saying things like, I put a house on my wrist, which means that the watch that she purchased is equivalent to that of a house, which is strange because the price of a house is quite ambiguous. It's also strange because flexing how rich you are by showing off your dumb purchases doesn't actually make you look rich. The more money you spend, the less you have. Anyone who's graduated high school understands this concept, but luckily teenagers lack the understanding of how money works and can't pick up on that fact. Lil Tay would drive around in expensive cars, show off her mansions, and of course, would always be carrying a fat stack of racks. Lil Tay actually seems to be a pretty good analogy for America's youth. Culturally ignorant, vain, extremely insecure, and worst of all, cringe. Or so it would seem. Lil Tay's antics would gain her much publicity online, and unfortunately most people online are gullible retards, and so they not only believed that Lil Tay was being serious, but also would bully and insult this young girl. Lil Tay was shocking, and her actions were completely atypical of what you'd expect from the average child, so it's understandable to be uncomfortable with her role and presence online. However, the belief that Lil Tay, who was only 9 years old, was actually behind all of this without any outside influence is insanely idiotic. And even if she was, to criticize such a young child for being ignorant and obnoxious is just fucking disgusting. But it eventually became clear to these absolute dipshits that Lil Tay actually didn't have much say on the whole situation. After a video leaked, it was revealed that her older brother was coaching her and feeding her lines behind the scenes.
This shit cost me 2,000. This shit cost me 10,000, and this—
I said stop saying 10,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,500.
Which is insane, by the way, because this fucking idiot struggles to even form a complete sentence.
Your auntie, Lil Tay gonna fuck your mama.
It's actually quite impressive that Lil Tay, who was probably around 9 or 10 when this video came out, was able to speak English better than her 16-year-old brother. It was eventually revealed that Lil Tay's entire life online was fabricated, which once again bolsters my point that Lil Tay is a really great analogy for America's youth. Her mother was a real estate agent, and the mansions that she would be flexing in were actually houses that her mom was trying to sell. Many of the cars she was seen driving were actually rentals. In fact, one of them was actually the car of her mom's boss. Up until this point, Lil Tay's image was a divisive and polarizing one, but it had been intact. But all of it came crumbling down after this. The Lil Tay character would fall off of the face of the earth, and we still haven't ever really truthfully heard from her since. Lil Tay has never really had a say in anything. In fact, I'm not too sure we've ever really met Lil Tay in any form at all. And I mean, obviously, it's pretty typical to not fully connect with an online personality. With Lil Tay, there's always been this question of, like, who she is at all, what she likes, how she thinks. We didn't even really know her real name. It also became clear that Lil Tay's personal life was more fucked up than Pyrocynical's search history. In fact, she was and continues to be involved in a legal battle between her two parents. This whole situation is very, like, sketchy and confusing, so I'm not gonna go too in depth with all the details there, but it is very clear that Lil Tay does not have a stable foundation that is required to raise a child her age. But after this, Lil Tay was irrelevant and she fell off. Until a few days ago, however, where we were all notified that Lil Tay had passed away. Bruh. Oh my god, guys. This is so sad. Can we please get a like? And while you're at it, leave your prayers in the comment section down below. I also know Lil Tay absolutely loved my merch, so maybe you should cop some in her honor. So if you can't tell from the way I'm reacting, she's not actually dead. This whole thing has been so wild, and there's just so much to talk about here. Pretty much it was posted on Lil Tay's Instagram that she, as well as her brother, passed away. And it gives no information at all, so people were speculating on all of the different possibilities. There was also a separate Instagram account claiming to be Lil Tay's brother, saying that they were actually alive. But as soon as I checked out the account for myself, it was pretty clear that it was fake. They were asking for like goals and follow goals to be able to like go live and give more information. But people would start to reach out to Lil Tay's management and parents, who would have no comment on the situation, saying that they weren't able to confirm or deny her death, which is just weird, obviously, because they just announced it on their Instagram, right? Why wouldn't they be able to confirm these things? And more specifically, if it's fake, why can't they deny it? People also reached out to the Vancouver Police Department, and they said there were absolutely no reports of her or her brother's deaths. But to top it all off, someone was able to actually get almost an exact copy of the message that she posted to her Instagram through ChatGPT, meaning that it was probably AI generated. But something I want to bring up is the fact that right after Lil Tay was announced to be dead, we didn't even know it was fake yet. People tried to fucking cancel her for saying the N-word.
This Lil Tay, bitch, I'm richer than all y'all broke ass. Bruh. 30 on my wrist.
Nobody is fucking safe anymore. Mr. Beast gets canceled for curing blindness, FXK Nate gets canceled for assaulting women on the street, and Lil Tay gets canceled after she fucking dies. Society? I fucking hate the internet, dude. You don't care. Nobody cares. Even if someone super divisive like Keemstar died and everyone started talking about how he said the N-word, I would think that was in like super poor taste. But with Lil Tay, it's even worse because she's fucking 9 years old, and when the clip came out, she was being coached by her older brother to say those things. We don't even know if Lil Tay wanted to be famous. Probably not, to be honest. This whole situation once again has reaffirmed my belief that people on Twitter are the biggest fucking losers on the planet. Eventually, however, Lil Tay would publicize a statement through TMZ confirming that she is in fact alive. I think maybe the reason they didn't want to make any comments towards other people or publications is maybe TMZ bought exclusivity rights. I have no clue. That's just a guess. But she is alive, and I wasn't even going to make a video on this situation until it became very clear that this entire situation is so fucked up. Apparently, they claim her Instagram was hacked, which is weird because usually when accounts get hacked, they use it to promote things like scams or products. But all these quote-unquote hackers seem to be interested in was a little bit of trolling. But this isn't even the first time they've claimed something like this. In October of 2018, the Lil Tay Instagram account posted unsubstantiated allegations of misconduct from her father. However, her mother would eventually claim that this post was a result of hacking, which makes no sense at all. So I honestly have no clue what to believe. Both times they were like hacked, it doesn't seem to actually be any standard hacking activities. They were both instances making claims that have no benefits for anyone outside of the situation. My best guess is that these things are like publicity stunts or something. I have no clue. But of course, what is a good controversy without cryptocurrency? Shortly after the news of her death came out, it was discovered that a Lil Tay coin existed. I don't know why everything needs to be a fucking commodity. Like, why can't we just have things? Like, why do we need to make money off of everything? Also, if you buy Lil Tay cryptocurrency, I wish the worst for you. The Lil Tay coin, otherwise known as the Lil Tay token, was dropped on some shitter market that isn't the blockchain, so it's probably a scam. And the CEO of this token is Lil Tay's manager, but he doesn't work for her anymore. Like, I don't understand anything about this situation, dude. This entire situation is insane. It's very likely that there's something going on behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure that this was like all planned as some kind of way to get Lil Tay's name back in circulation, preparing for like a statement of some kind. But it's very clear that Lil Tay needs help. It's strange because she's the most well-known person in the situation, yet she has had really no voice this entire time, and we don't really know anything about her. Lil Tay is either like 15 or 16 at this point, and while I'm certain she has matured since the last time we saw her, she's still like in a horrible situation where she has no control. It's very, very likely that she just was thrown into this situation with no say whatsoever. But even if she did have a say and she wanted to play the Lil Tay character at the time, she was so young and couldn't possibly understand the weight of her decisions. She's involved in such a strange situation that we've never really seen before. She's faced so much public scrutiny at such a young age and has clearly been used by older people for their own gain, something that will surely stay with her forever. Your childhood are formative years that mold and shape the person that you will be as an adult, and it's no secret the damage and destruction that comes with being a child celebrity. But with Lil Tay, we've never seen anything like this, especially as public as it is. There will be a day, maybe in the near future, where we hear from the real Lil Tay, and we'll finally have some clarity. And hopefully the real Lil Tay will have some comfort and peace soon. And I really hope people don't try to cancel her for saying the N-word again, because that's just fucking stupid. Like the video, subscribe for sex, and give me your money. Take care, guys.